very quick since they've already established what they want to ban. Perhaps they might change it up. We'll see. The level of strategy, tactics in Reddit in-house isn't really high. So I don't believe they have a specific plan in mind. So we see the Shen ban. Hopefully we see the Shaco ban. Yep, the Shaco ban. Quick Rammus ban. Blitzcrank. And then Rammus. But yeah, Blitzcrank is probably banned because he's really popular amongst several people. Jamal's son. Or I am Jamal. Sushi. It's a good ban. Keep him on their toes. Shreve likes to take time on his bans for some reason. Not clear. Bans Fizz. I don't know why. Apparently my jungle Fizz was too strong 2 games previous. Perhaps he wants to play Rise, so then Fizz is a good counter to Rise. A really strong AP character that doesn't get much play. He's really strong against certain champions, but really weak against certain ones too. Rammus ban. I wonder what the third pick or third ban is going to be from the purple team. We'll just have to wait and see. The Lee Sin ban. Okay. I guess Fizz was their third ban that didn't go through. Hopefully we get to see Jungle Twitch, Jungle Alistar. Alistar was banned in the past previous games. I guess it was targeted towards only jungle because maybe his Jungle Alistar is pretty damn good. We'll have to see. Interesting that he took Ignite instead of Flash, perhaps to get those early ganks. But Flash is a lot better overall. You can set up for Flash, Pulverize, Flash, whatever. It's just a really great initiation spell. Ignite, it's great in the sense that you can kind of confirm kills, do extra damage, but then it's just so linear. Flash has so many other uses. I don't agree with that Ignite pick. Just waiting on Shrieve and Jamalson to pick their 2 champions. We see a Singe pick, which is interesting. A top pick this early isn't that great because it's really counterable. I see a Janna pick as well. Really strong support. She's seen less play since her ban, or active game was not found. I wonder what that was. But yeah, Janna hasn't seen much play after her nerf, but then she's still a really strong support. Possibly she's going AP with Ignite. Weird comps so far. Lanewick. I'm not too familiar with the top lane meta or counters, counter picks, whatever. Okay, it's a Jungle Singe. My bad. Jungle Singe is interesting to watch, to say the least. I've seen it work. I've seen it like fail miserably. It really depends on the player. It's a fun thing to do, but we'll see. I see a Sona. See, like if you notice that blue team, they're picking their jungles and supports earlier instead of their ADs, their mids, their tops. It's because they don't want them to be countered by the other team. And this is why the whole banning process is so important to the game, because sometimes games can be, straight up won through what champions you pick. I see an Ashe pick. Great initiation. We see a Silver pick. Great DPS overall. She's strong early game, strong mid game, strong late game. Just a well-rounded AD pick. And we see a Karma. This is very interesting. I used to play Karma a lot. Um, she's very fun to play mid, but then extremely hard to play late game, as that burst that she has doesn't have that oomph it has early game. So it should be interesting how she plays that out. See a Victor pick and a Vayne pick. Victor, Wukong, these guys are really annoying. Vayne is a really strong pick, but I'm not sure if she can survive the early game. If a Vayne is allowed to farm, allowed to get kills, not die, not get ganked, not abused early game, she's gonna snowball really hard. And Vayne is like probably the strongest AD carry late game. She can solo like teams so fast. It's incredibly dangerous. That whole dynamic of like denying Vayne should be on the jungler's mind. He should pressure bottom so that Vayne doesn't, free farm. And we see a Riven pick. I believe Shrieve is going to switch, right? Yep, there you go. Shrieve is pretty good on Riven. She's a bruiser that scales incredibly well with AD. Her shield scales off of AD, not any other. So the harder she hits, the stronger her shield gets. It's an interesting mechanic that she has. The Wukong
By
is
the way, can you
very
hear
good
me?
at disrupt. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, awesome. I just had literally the best sandwich in the world. I just want to throw that out there. But anyway, yeah, Wukong. Is that, do you think, Wukong mid?
No, it's definitely going to be Wukong top.
Oh,
Wait,
wow,
actually,
Alistair mid.
wow. This is weird.
So it's
Uh,
Jungle Warwick.
it's probably going to be Alistar mid because he's AP.
Hmm.
He can roam a lot, get good ganks off. Oh my goodness, these guys are throwing him. It's going to be Elaine Wick.
They just switched about 85 times. Yeah, they're just trying to throw us off. It's going to be Alistair jungle, which only jungle has been playing a lot. Lanewick mid. By the way, do you get this active game was not found error? I don't know what
Yeah,
that is.
I just got that.
Okay. It's like the third, fourth time I got it. Anyway, so you think Wukong top, Lanewick mid, Alistair jungle, and then Vayne Sona. So Vayne Sona is probably going to be against Jana Sivir with Karma mid and Shrieve actually not picking up Flash this game, going Heal Ignite. And then the Exhaust Smite Jungle Singe. That's going to be interesting to see.
I like playing Riven super aggressive. No flash. Heal Ignite is really strong in lane. I don't think it's a safe pick because you don't know who's going top. It's probably going to be Lanewick. But since they had no APs or top picks that were definite, I would have gone flash just to be safe. The Singe pick is kind of weird. I guess it's a Reddit in-house, so it's not super serious, 2K plus elo games.
Yeah.
But Jungle Singe is pretty fun to watch and play. His ganks are pretty good. His slow is incredibly slow. His fling is pretty strong. But he doesn't have any damage.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time you don't really see Jungle Singe picking up that Rod of Ages, right? You usually see them build Woda or Rylai's or AP items, right? You almost always see them build straight AP, right? I think the clear times are just too slow without it.
Yeah. I haven't seen a Jungle Singe in a long time. But when I played Jungle Singe in a normal game, I would have built Cloth 5.
Yeah.
Because I'm not too familiar with Jungle Singe.
Yeah. I think either Cloth 5 or Boots 3 or something. But then in terms of their core build, you usually see them pick up some sort of AP, right? It's definitely not like Bruiser.
They definitely must get relies to get that slow on the poison.
From the poison. Yep.
But since he's jungling and they don't really have a bruiser besides Riven, but Riven isn't a true bruiser, I feel. I think he's going to go a little bit more tankier, get a Force of Nature, Merc Treads, possibly a Frozen Heart. But yeah, I don't think he's going to build AP. I think he's going to build a lot more tankier.
Yeah, Caffeine is saying that when he plays Jungle Singed, he goes double GB5, which I guess is... I was thinking there would be a Philostone somewhere in there, because you do want to give up your blue buffs, maybe, but I don't know. We don't actually see... Jungle Singed is one of those junglers who people used to put it as part of a double WOTA team comp. But anyway, it does look like this game is now starting, so I'm going to go ahead and make this full screen by mashing my magic hotkey a couple times.
Apparently your League of Legends has crashed.
Yeah, I reconnected.
There you go. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how Karma plays out. I have the feeling that she's going to give Wukong or Warwick, whoever's going to be in mid, a tough time early game. Mm-hmm. But then once like they hit level 6 or level 9, it's going to edge out towards them. Because Karma is really strong because of her burst from her shield and her Q. Is extremely potent because like her shield can be placed on a minion. So even though you're not close to her, she still can reach you if you go to last hit. Mm-hmm. In that sense, like she's really strong early game, but then it's not a strong pick. It's a fun pick though, so should be interesting to see.
Yeah. And I mean, it does. Singed and Riven are two like sort of very mobile melee champs who can kind of get up in range of them. And that Karma, I believe it's her Spirit Bond, her W, does a significant amount of damage. And really the only reason it's not, thought of as a high damage nuke is it's very hard to get onto your opponent, because just putting Spirit Bond onto your opponent won't deal damage. They actually have to cross through the beam, right? So
right.
If you put it on Singed and then he runs behind an enemy, or he just flings an enemy, it does a lot of damage. And I think it's actually Karma's highest damage spell, higher damage even than her E. I might be wrong on that. I know it's definitely got more damage to it than Q. And by the way,
not aware of that.
Yeah, I know that the scaling and everything is huge on that. But yeah, also we have seen it's Koban playing Vayne in some of these in-houses and doing a consistently great job. I believe Koban was actually part of the first Reddit in-house 5 game we casted. And she just, I think actually she did lose, but she went something like 15-3 or something just ridiculous like that. So it will be interesting to see how Purple Team's bot lane adjusts that. We do see Only Jungle catching all 4 of the enemy players in his queue. However, unfortunately, Warwick and Vayne were the only ones there. Neither of them really having the AoE damage to follow up on that. But once again, asking, I think, who was it last game who was asking for that, oh, we do see Alistair going in again. Oh, and this time he's just getting too far ahead. The heal is blown. It's not going to be enough. It is enough to save him for now. And Simmer gets the Q. First blood going to Xenogen. And a second kill picked up on Sona after the Singe flings her into the entire team. I'm just going to double check. Yeah, okay, this time around my video is set to borderless, so we're good to go for this recording. It looks like the Singe is just going to make his way over to Wolves and farm those up and then go for blue. Meanwhile, Alistair is sort of delayed a little bit in his jungle route because he's not there at the start of the game.
The jungle Alistair is really far behind, I think. He's definitely going to have to go for red to get a gank off. It should be interesting because if he doesn't get his first gank off, it's gonna be hard for him to like come back. And
I think Jamalson actually picked up Fling for that level 1 invade or fight, which was smart because I think jungle sims usually get poisoned first because you can just kind of tap it on and off and you don't really use up mana. But anyway.
But face checking like that was incredibly stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it was a incredible pulverize from Only Jungle at level 1, and then it's like they just didn't get the sort of they didn't have the team comp to follow up on it. Xenogen, by the way, is already at no health. I don't think he went back after that early fight where he used up a boomerang blade or two. We actually see Jungle Singe going in, finds Warwick, and only Jungle just smites the red, but does get very low. Has to use up all of his health pots. This could be bad for him. He's waiting around to see what Jamal-san is going to do. I wonder what will happen if Jamal-san clicks Fling on Alistair and Alistair clicks Headbutt on Jamal-san. It's maybe one of those weird interactions. I don't think I've seen it in a long time.
Like the whole debate, like what would happen if the unstoppable wall or
yeah, unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
Yeah, right.
But like for instance, if two Blitzcranks grab each other, they switch positions. Things like that, you know.
But this play from Jamal-san was extremely smart. He knew that jungle Alistair was going to be behind, and he's not a strong jungler. So that
by the way, we do see only jungle coming in behind I Am Jamal. There's a huge creep wave, and Jamal is just going to walk away. Doesn't have that move speed. I Am Jamal also having the passive from Janna to help her kind of just skirt away from that gank. Looks like Shrieve is doing a decent job against Theory of None up top on Wukong. Shrieve, of course, did have that advantage from picking up a kill. It wasn't first blood, but she did pick up the kill on Sona. Jamal-san taken quite low by red buff. By red buff. Both of these junglers are actually, you know, sort of slow junglers who rely on their ganks.
Right, and we see Jamal-san getting incredibly low.
Yeah.
He might not be able to clear the. Yep, he's running away.
Oh, he goes back in. I think he's gonna die. Oh, he just barely gets it.
Wow.
Meanwhile, we see Alistair, by the way, going up for Shrieve up top. Ignites are blown. This could be a kill. The headbutt on Alistair coming up in 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and it looks like Shrieve is going to be able to make it out. Alistair just not really feeling comfortable enough to go for the dive. Although Shrieve is heading back to lane, this could be really dangerous. Will Alistair go for the gank? He should.
He's not privy to that fact.
Yeah.
That
was a good play from Shrieve. Shrieve actually popping those health pots. Might be able to pick up a kill on Theory of None. She's going in. She gets the stun. She goes for the Q on the clone, however.
She has to back off because of that huge wave. Does incredible amounts of damage early game.
Yeah. Oh, meanwhile, we see a lot of damage going into I Am Jamal mid. Only jungle hitting, I guess, a WQ combo onto her. And Caffeine is going to be able to pick up that kill, which is going to equalize. Oh, not equalize, but sort of bring blue team's kills back up to the 2 that purple team got in that failed level 1 invade. I don't know about that decision to invade. They got a little bit lucky fighting that 3v5 where Alistair hit a perfect headbutt. Sorry, a perfect pulverize. I think they should have just backed off then.
Right. The lane wick in middle is interesting in the sense that like his sustain is really strong, but then he doesn't do a lot of burst damage, so with the ganks, he won't be able to burst down the enemy champion really well.
Yeah, in terms of, I mean, if you're picking jungle Alistair, who's not, you know, that's sort of like a gank-oriented jungler, and usually what you want from that in your lane comp is someone who deals a ton of damage and can kind of just work off of the CC of Alistair. If you've got, for instance, a Cassiopeia, who doesn't have any CC pre-6, it doesn't matter because you deal just so much damage. By the way, Sona going very low down bot is picked up. That was a successful gank, I guess, from the jungle Singe. I wasn't really paying attention to that down there. But they are able to pick up their 3rd kill of the game 6 minutes in. And what do you think? I mean, you know, it's Koban is playing Vayne, who's not the strongest champ early game, and they are just getting hammered. Alistair is being counter-jungled by a jungle Singed. Although he is lining up for yet another gank, and now Caffeine is level 6. Unfortunately, uses his mana on that Q, so it was just a couple mana short from ulting. Uses another Q, doesn't decide to go for the ulti. I guess maybe they know jungle Singe is around. Alistair losing a ton of CS out to the Singe, though. It's 32 CS to 16, and he's got that Philistone already completed, so this Alistair is just losing out in CS a ton to this jungle Singe. Oh, and not only that, but Singed has actually had, you know, a number of successful ganks which have turned into kills for his laners, which Alistair has not. He's only had that 1 kill mid.
But his ganks were really strong. He plays a really good jungle Alistair from what I've seen. Definitely ban-worthy champion against only jungle.
In terms of
We
CS,
see-
we have... Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead. There was a ping
Nothing,
bot.
sorry.
I don't know who
Yep.
pinged that bot. Theory of None saying Shazbot. I did miss that a couple minutes ago. That is, of course, from the excellent game Tribes. Sivir, by the way, forced to use her heal after a short engage with It's Koban, the Vayne. Although It's Koban going very low, gets exhausted, tumbles in. I'm not sure what that. Oh, and a very nice flash. Dodges the tornado, and It's Koban just.
Meanwhile, in mid, we
silent on these
see-
dudes. Alistair getting caught by. Oh, that's what happens when a headbutt and a flame goes off at the same time. That was strange. It looks like that is going to be a kill on Jamal's son from Caffeine. And I Am Jamal does, of course, pick up the kill on Alistair. Oh, and meanwhile, we did also see Shrieve kill Theory of None's Wukong up top. Caffeine going in on Jamal, not really afraid of that shield burst. And Jamal just getting some nice auto attack right now. Wow, and a lot of damage. Not quite able to shield the Hungering Strike away, which would have cut down the amount of burst that Warwick can do significantly. Looks like a dive might come from Caffeine, but no.
No, his Ignite is down and his ultimate's down.
Yeah. But
There's a lot of action in the
a lot of
first
action
10
in
minutes
this
of the game.
But this Warwick is healing 80% of 300 for every Q he sends off, which is a lot of sustain. And of course,
Especially with the blue buff.
Yeah, especially with that blue buff, it's on only a 5.5 second cooldown. If Karma can perfectly place her shields, time them right before he uses that Hungering Strike, the Warwick will have a very hard time getting some damage dealt to I Am Jamal. But it is an instant cast ability, so that's going to require a lot of good prediction on from I Am Jamal to really get that sort of mechanic in place. We do see.
I'm still surprised to see Vayne Sona pushing out a Sivir Janna lane. If anything, it should be the other way around.
Yeah. I don't know so much about Zynian. Does he main AD? Who knows? I do know that Itzkoban is a very competent AD character main who I think. Oh wow, George taking a full Boomerang Blade and getting down to half health. But anyway, I do know Koban is a. Oh, and Genocide George missing the ulti, and Janna.
Beautiful.
Very nice flash ulti. The angle was a little bit off, but it let Koban take a turret hit.
So
Surviving
close.
with just 12 health. Very well played from Koban. And Genocide George flashing. I'm not sure what that was. I think he just saw the Alistair off the top of his, off to the side of his screen and flashed or something. Who knows? But yeah, that would have been a kill for sure on Zynigan if that Sona ult had hit. We do see Riven and Singe. Keep an eye down bot for me. We see Riven and Singe heading down into mid lane. I Am Jamal taken very low. If Caffeine gets greedy for the kill, it looks like Alistair is heading up to try and stop this gank. Caffeine could go for the ult on Jamal. Instead decides to back off.
It looks like Purple Team is posturing for a possible dragon.
Yep.
We don't see Wukong following up. I believe this is going to...
Lots of damage going out on the Riven, by the way, but that shield, that heal and shield from Shrieve. Wow, and the ult goes down on Jamal, I think, or Shrieve. I thought the animation was a little glitched. But yeah, Shrieve just forced to pop her heal, afraid of that Hungering Strike, which is dealing, still level 4. It's dealing a significant amount of damage, though. And meanwhile, Wukong just kind of not deciding to push, instead just sort of freezing this lane up top. If you look at the CS advantages of each lane, we have 67 CS on Riven to 58 on Wukong, plus Riven's 202, whereas Wukong is 010. So a lot of gold in the favor of Shri's Riven right now. A good 700 gold advantage. Mid, we've got, let's see, we have the Warwick at 70, combined with the 57 of Karma, so also quite a lead for Wukong. For Warwick. Looks like Singed is invading blue, but the blue is already gone to Caffeine. The Wukong ult comes off, a nice WQ, and that is a kill. And looks like Caffeine is just coming off on cooldown, and there it is. Nice key burst gets all three of them. Wukong goes in for the dive, and the ult just goes off. Does not have enough damage to take any of them down.
Yeah, Karma should have followed that Warwick up river. That was bad play on Karma's part, and also on Jamalson's part.
Yeah, by the way, oh, a lot of damage I think going down bot. Koban taking it very low. Getting some nice damage off on the Sivir though. Does not follow it up. A nice dodge on the Boomerang Blade. But the Janna shield negates all of the damage that was dealt in that trade. Oh, inside again. Might get pinned to the wall. Oh, and that's so unlucky from Koban. George, if he had positioned in that brush, it would have given them sight on the Sivir. You could hear the Condemn wind up, and unfortunately, they lost vision of that brush. Genocide George not only going into the brush to provide vision, but then also getting caught. He was a little out of mana, and his flash was down from an earlier engage. So a little bit unfortunate for blue team, but very well played from purple team to kind of kite in and out of that and deal a significant amount of damage. Very well played from both AD carries, but it did just slightly go in favor of purple. I think partially because they had summoners up and purple team didn't. And blue team didn't. Oh wow, a very nice tornado actually blocks the headbutt from Only Jungle. He is forced to run. That Sivir is chasing down. Oh, Mr. Sushi misclicks the Zephyr. It actually goes onto a cannon creep. 3 people now down bot. I am Jamal setting up for what could be a dive here. A 4v2. Oh, sorry, 4v3.
This is really bad for Karma since she's spending all this time doing nothing, posturing for a gank, but nothing coming out of it.
Yeah.
And we see Warwick just like free farming mid, pushing the lane, and denying her creeps.
You know, one of Warwick's big drawbacks is that he is entirely single target focused. Karma, on the other hand, has huge wave clear abilities, one of the best in the game actually, with her shield pop. And she should just be, you know, maybe pushing and roaming, but she can't even get that done. She's losing a ton of CS out to this Warwick, which is really not the way you want to play this lane.
This is what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Karma has a really strong early game, but then if you don't capitalize on that,
yeah. By the way, are you watching mid? Oh wow, and there looks to be the kill.
Oh, so close.
Oh wow. But Caffeine, all Caffeine has to do is hit, hit a Q off cooldown. Jamal's walking into the bait. Very nicely done from Caffeine. He stands over the wall and gets that Hungry Strike off. Lots of CC coming down from blue team with that Wukong ulti, and Alistar had his headbutt. Bulberose finds Riven at red, but it looks like Riven is not going to decide to go in 3v1 and try and protect this red buff. Yeah. Oh wow, actually pops that ulti, indicates that maybe she wants to go for the steal. Oh, and it's just barely out of range. Could have been the steal. But wow, Shrieve doing a ton of damage to that Alistar. Theory of None used all the cooldowns. Oh, but there is the kill for Caffeine. Lots of damage coming out of these Qs. He has 116 AP, and pretty much all he's doing right now is queuing off cooldown, and there's just nothing Karma can really do about it. She's not putting those shields on herself, even when she has blue buff. And I think pretty much one shield will negate one Q, but I mean, now that Warwick has blue and Karma doesn't, lots of damage going down bot. I'm gonna make my way down there, and it looks like a Sona stun caught both Janna and Sivir very nicely, saving the life of Iskoban. It looks 104 CS to 108. However, it does feel like Sivir's in the dominant position. She got that first blood. She is 3-0-2. And Iskoban is just trying to, I think at this point, he realizes that he's probably not going to win an engage and is just trying to get his CS. Nicely using his E to get those last hits under turret.
One thing I have to criticize purple team is, blue team, is that they're not threatening any dragon attempts because their Warwick is clearly stronger than their mid, so then they have a clear advantage of that.
Well,
we see an ultimate on Karma.
Just such a dominant position, this lane wick. There's really not a whole lot Karma can do. And what do you think?
We see a gank from Only Jungle on bottom. A strong ultimate from Janna, denying that gank from Alistar.
No, it's interesting to see. Lane wick, if you let him get in this position where he can just queue you off cooldown, it's only on a 4.5 second cooldown right now, dealing around 400 damage per Q. There's really just not a whole lot Karma can do, and it's sort of her fault. She let Caffeine get to this stage, and now he gets a lot of. Oh, by the way, I missed that. Looks like it was a sort of a dive.
The lane gank.
Lane gank through the brush.
I did not see it, but I believe that was the case.
No. So this looks like Vayne is sort of starting to find her footing about right now. She's had the CS lead for a while, and she's only behind on kills. It looks like they might go to maybe take the turret.
I don't think that's a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they're backing off. If you keep the turret, you're able to farm in lane a lot longer.
Yep.
So it allows Vayne to farm, not
Looks
roam.
like Warwick is starting to go for a gank up top. He has his ult up on Shrieve on Riven. Shriven, actually, I like that.
Shriven. That's smart.
Is sort of just kind of too mobile for Caffeine to chase, so he does back off. I sort of do you agree that maybe Caffeine should be focusing a little bit more attention down bot lane? I mean, it's clearly a lane that is, you know, right now, at least in gold, I think Sivir is in the lead, 5.4k to 4.4k, almost 1k in the favor of Sivir. However, it's proved to be a lane where you know, with a little bit of external pressure, Vayne's definitely got the damage to take Sivir down, and especially now that Sivir has taken the turret, looks like they might be presenting some opportunities to gank. Dragon is up. It looks like Purple took the turret down to maybe go for this dragon. They have it pink warded. They know Blue has no vision. Warwick is going back. In fact, I think probably to pick up a needlessly large rod, or even maybe complete an entire death cap. He's got 2.7k in his inventory right now. There's the death cap. And this is going to be a very, very scary Warwick. A big bad wolf, if you will. He's got almost 300 AP, and that Q is going to be doing a ton of damage. Almost 600 damage for every Q. Karma does have 48 MR, which is going to take the damage off the Q a little bit, but still, that is a very scary wolf at the moment. Blue not actually being Dragon not being contested by either team, which I think is a little bit surprising.
Yeah, it's definitely one fault that both teams have. They're not threatening any Dragon attempts because Dragon is so strong in terms of gold earned. And we see bottom lane taking out that turret. Perhaps Vayne wants to start roaming, get some kills.
And I do have to fault Genocide George. He doesn't really have that much ward coverage. He knows there's a pink ward at Dragon because his ward just got cleared, but there are other areas you can ward around. Oh wow, lots of damage going on to Karma. The Q comes down, the W goes down, and that is almost definitely, there's the Q. That is a very dead Karma.
Yep, the Alistar ganks are super strong. And we see bottom lane helping out mid.
By the way, ulti gets popped. While Sivir catches a stray Q. Looks like the Singe Goo. Oh wow, lots of damage coming out from Cappy. Very nicely done. Flashed in, Q'd, and got the ignite. SHRIVEN is coming in from the side. Has the ulti pop. Nice. Cappy gets stunned in turret range. And SHRIVEN getting lots of damage off. The Sona ult completely misses. Alistar takes SHRIVEN out of that ult. A nice strong ult separates them, but it's not going to be enough. SHRIVEN goes very low. And that looks like it is going to be the end of that exchange. Probably going to back off and either maybe take the Dragon for blue team or mid turret first and then Dragon. Jungle Singe just uses high use Dulo to help contest. Lots of damage coming off on the Sona who's taking the turret. The turret does go down. Damage going onto SHRIVEN now. Man, I keep saying SHRIVEN. It's become a thing.
SHRIVEN is super.
You know
awesome
what?
name.
I'm just going to embrace it. I'm just going to start saying it. SHRIVEN, I crown thee.
SHRIVEN.
Yeah.
You call you didn't even, oh my goodness, you didn't even call her by like her real name.
Yeah.
You called her SHRIVEN.
SHRIVEN. So it does look like Genocide George clearing that pink ward. It looks like blue team is going to get an uncontested Dragon. Oh, and Caffeine, I guess 3 minutes ago I said SHRIVEN for the first time. They're going to hear a lot of that coming out as they catch up to us. Sorry, as we catch up to them, because what we're reading is what they said 3 minutes ago. Oh, and the Sivir ulti pop. They're a little bit split. The Warwick ulti finds the, I believe that.
Oh, that Sivir is in deep water, hot water.
Yeah. Although actually they have split. This could be bad. A nice Vayne knockback gets that. Oh, and they almost found. I think Wukong forced to flash over that wall. Caffeine going low. I completely missed that. Trying to look for who flashed over the Baron pit. SHRIVEN nearly finding someone, and it looks like they're gonna. Oh, and they don't find the Wukong, but only Jungle barely avoids getting knocked up. SHRIVEN pops the ulti, starts to gap close. Are they gonna be able to get the Q? No, there's no stun onto only Jungle, who safely backs. Doesn't look like purple team wants to dive 2 turrets. Instead, just go for a little bit of counter jungling. Riven taking the race, and Zynigan on Sivir taking red buff. Red buff going to be very strong on Sivir because of her passive, which is excellent for chasing. Gives you a flat movement speed buff combined with the move speed slow on the on the enemy with that red buff, and you have a very, very, very scary ADK. She has her Infinity Edge completed. She has 900 gold, so she's not quite ready to buy that Zeal. Looks like purple team just kind of checking out Baron. I don't think they're going to go for it because they are sort of out of mana, but they don't want to get kind of blindsided by a Baron attempt from blue team as they go back. They did just have a very successful long team fight / push / counter jungle, but it would be a shame to give it all up by letting the other team get a free Baron. So they are kind of sticking around. A nice ulti goes on a Sivir. Singe flips him off. The Sivir spell shield not enough to stop the headbutt. Obviously, doesn't really do anything because he has that Q. Sivir very low, going back into the fight and just gets one shot by that Vayne. Lots of damage coming off, and the fight continues up top as SHRIVEN finds 3 people. Hits a nice key burst, gets knocked back by the Alistair. And not enough damage. Theory of One gets taken down by Jamal, however. That's a killing spree picked up. The fight continues. Only jungle gets caught. A nice defensive ulti saves not only the oracles, but also stuns both Singe and Karma. However, it looks like this fight is going to pretty much be over unless any of them decide to go balls deep. That was a 2-for-1 exchange. They did pick up the spree off of Theory of None, and now almost in a repeat of what we just saw. You finish the fight, you steal red buff, you back off, and who knows? It looks like blue team is in a position to Baron right now. They have that oracles, however, Genocide George is on the wrong side of the wall. A little support battle right here. And there is a ward in Baron Pit, however, Genocide George is just not in a position to clear that ward. So this could be bad for blue team. All of purple is pretty much funneling in. Caffeine is getting very low on health. This could be a steal for purple team. Sivir going in, taking a bit of damage. Oh no, and Vayne is trapped in the Baron Pit. She's auto-attacking it, trying to get it down, and she is going to go down to that Sivir. And that could be a Baron steal for purple. Where's the spike ball? And they get the Baron. There we go. Good job from Karma, noticing how low on health it is. The red buff able to chase down that Warwick, though, from Sivir. Very good job from purple, kind of swinging that one in their favor. Before that fight happened, it was...
Just the Baron attempt was a severe misstep by the blue team.
Yep.
The blue team had such a clear advantage, but then they decided to take the risk by trying to clear Baron, which was the wrong move.
Oh, and look at what is happening now. Theory of None on blue team is pushing top. Meanwhile, 5 people are just steamrolling down mid, and Theory of None has to get back to his base and try and stop it. Sivir rolled his puck. There's absolutely no way blue team is going to be able to defend this inhibitor turret. Only jungle taking a lot of damage. Shrieve might be able to pick up a kill, and she does. And that could also mean a kill on the Genocide George. That's an Oracle's down. And it looks like they're going to back off this fight and instead just go for... Oh wow, but Jamal-san getting very low on health. The shield misclicked from I Am Jamal, instead goes to the Sivir. And now it looks like the Vayne is in a position to chase here. Very nice ulti from Cappy. The knockup goes on the Zynigan. Koban taking a lot of damage, but also dishing out a fair amount. Shrieve goes down. Are they going to be able to continue chasing? I think not. But they were able to get that.
Sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah, they were able to get the inhib, but I mean, I think you were about to say, it looks like blue team has a chance to make a counter push here. They got a 3-for-0 exchange in that last fight where purple team just kind of stuck around too long. A misclick from I Am Jamal did not save the Singe, and a Q from Warwick, and I think a crit from Vayne was just able to take them down. So we'll see how blue team is able to push here.
Any pushing attempts should be stifled with the purple team respawning.
Yep.
I felt like they should have split into top, mid, and bottom and pushed the lanes up, but instead they just wasted time.
Yeah, and especially pushing against the Karma. I mean, she does have a long-range AoE spell burst, which can hit the... Sorry, I was AFK for a little bit, and it looks like we do see a chase from purple team. They get the slowdown on Genocide George, and that is going to be yet another Oracles that he's lost. he does not even have a Shirelia's Reverie, which he really needs. Purple team, with that Sivir ulti and with that Singe ulti, are just so good at chasing, and Sona only has that move, Song of Celerity to help chase. Wow, half health Mr. Sushi from 1 Q off of Caffeine, and he has that DFG. I think if he really wants to, he can just take Janna out of the fight before it even begins. Does anyone on, by the way, can you check, does anyone on Purple Team have 30 MR?
Quick check.
I'm not seeing it, no. I think we have 42 on the support and the AD carry, but no one has less than 42. Obviously, Warwick with that 30 magic penetration and his Q dealing 20% of max health, plus the DFG dealing around, I want to say, 40% of max health. Q, DFG, ulti, and Q are together going to deal a significant amount of single target magic damage. So I think really it's going to be Sivir or Janna who need to watch out because they've only got 42 MR, and that Warwick is a scary amount of single target damage right now. You saw 1 Q onto Janna took her down to just over half health. So I'd like to see maybe an Aegis getting picked up, and there's the Aegis by very smart. That's bringing her up to 105 MR, more than double what she just had, and it's also going to increase the durability of this Sivir. So very, very intelligently done from Janna. They don't really need that Shirelia's Reverie because they do have the Sivir ulti, which sort of is a Sivir ulti in and of itself. What do you think about this buy of the, we have a Longsword, a Vamp Scepter, and a Chain Vest in Sivir's inventory? Do you think that's going to go for a Guardian Angel or what?
I'm thinking, but
Oh, by the way, ulti up onto Singe. The Q goes off, the W goes off. He's taking turret aggro because of that.
You never should chase a Singed.
Yeah.
And this is why.
I think they've already used up their burst. Caffeine forgot to use his DFG. That was a misplay from Caffeine. That surely would have been a dead Singe if he had remembered to use that pesky item active. But at any rate, forced Singe back off the turret, although I think also forcing him to blow Summoner. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, it looks like now Blue Team feels confident enough, having sent Singe back, that they're just going to be able to nuke down this turret. They don't have the longest range in the world. They've got Sona and Vayne being ranged. Vayne with, I think, 550 range. They don't really have a way to safely clear these turrets. And the Sivir ulti's popped. This looks like it could be an engage. Zynigan actually decided to back off. Got the red buff slow onto Wukong, but I guess was just afraid of being, turned on and, having Wukong turn around and just hit that ulti in her face. So right now we do see 17 kills to 16, 30 minutes into the game. Could go either way. Only a 3k gold difference. We do see Theory of None's clone distracting the enemy team a little bit, and it looks like people are just going to back off. All ultis up for everyone in the game.
This is actually pretty good for Purple Team.
Yeah.
Since both top and bottom lanes are pushing.
Oh yeah, very good. Yep. Oh wow, but there's the Wukong initiating onto the Singe once again. This time he uses the DFG. It's not enough damage to take him down. That Aegis on Janna doing crazy amounts of work. Koban, wow, the damage from I Am Jamal on Karma takes down pretty much the entire team to low health. We do see Koban escaping down mid. Wow, and Genocide George gets caught. That Karma is actually doing a lot of work right now. The Spirit Bond for chasing, and that Shield Burst was just huge. Almost killed the Vayne, almost killed the Alistar, and it looks like this is going to be a free inhibitor for Purple Team. They have Riven, who has 284 AD with that counter shield. And they have Silver backing them up now. This is definitely going to be an inhibitor. What do you think is their move now? Push the side lanes, push to win, push for Baron?
Definitely push the side lanes. And
then
like buy, and then rush Baron.
Yeah, it looks like Singe is up top pushing that lane in. It is going to go down to that first auto attack of the cannon minion, and it looks like we have Shriven and Janna down block pushing. Baron has just popped though, and I don't know. Purple Team is sort of out of position for this. Blue Team might want to go.
This is a serious mess up by Blue Team. They should have just rushed straight for Baron. But instead they waste their time trying to chase the Janna, who's nearly impossible to hunt down, because I've played Janna, and like the number of times I've had like wild goose chases like way too many times, and I've nearly always come out ahead.
Yep.
But yeah, look at all the time that they wasted going through their own jungle,
Yep.
accomplishing nothing when they could have just run straight for Baron, force a Baron, get that Baron, hopefully, and turn the tides of the games towards their favor.
Yeah. So it is 33 minutes into the game now. The score is 17-18. Not the highest amount of kills that you'd expect to see in an in-house game. And the gold is just 5k in the advantage of purple team because of these Barons and Dragons that they've been able to, group up for and take. But I mean, right now it could be anyone's game. That Vayne, if she positions properly, if you get a nice sort of Warwick ult maybe onto the Sivir, it could mean the end of purple team. This late in the game, just one push from either team and that's over. It's over. So Caffeine is sort of initiating, which you don't really want to see. I think. Oh, and Caffeine gets split. Oh, goes onto the Sivir though. Forgets to use the DFG again. Caffeine going down very quickly. The Sivir spell shield pops that. Oh, a very nice Soda ult by the way, and Sivir does go down. Koban also going down. This is definitely a fight that's in the favor of purple team. It is a 4-for-1 exchange. Alistar gets flung back by the Jungle Singed. The Karma Spirit Bond. Nice attempted an escape, but it's not going to be enough. And
yeah, I believe this is game.
Yeah, I mean, we already have super minions pushing down the base. It's an ace. All purple team has to do now is walk and right click and receive their free win. Sona's up in 10 seconds, Warwick's up in 10 seconds, but really there's not going to be anything they can do to stop this without any base turrets in a 5v2, sorry, in a 4v2. So the GGs come out from both teams.
One thing I just want to point out, though, like in the last fight at Baron, purple team did everything right, and blue team did everything wrong.
Yeah. I think having Caffeine got maybe a little bit too cocky. He's very far. Oh wow, some nice damage coming off of Koban. They might actually be able to delay this. No, instead Koban gets caught. Very well played from Shri, and they are just going to, I'm sure, kill Theory of None and then go for the kill. Theory of None gets on a Mr. Sushi, but a nice flank from Singe takes him out of that fight. That is going to be GG. Wukong not so happy about that. Typing Midday Jabo. It's just, they know it's over.
Typing out his frustrations.
Yeah, typing out of frustration. He knew he got caught. But anyway, yeah, Warwick trying to engage in that last fight. Warwick is not an initiator, and Purple Team has a ton of CC that they can use. It was a good ulti. It connected with the Sivir, but unfortunately, just not the sort of use of that ulti that you're really going to be looking for. So yeah, I mean, what was that? Purple Team with the Riven, with the Singe, with the Janna, very, very, very good job of keeping the Sivir safe. Whereas Blue Team, the Alistar, the Wukong, the Warwick, they were all using their hard CC to kind of try and start fights, leaving only Sona to try and peel, I think it was a Singed and a Riven off of their Vayne, and that Vayne was just shut down too hard. A ton of CS, 211 CS, by far the top in the game, but still just trailing behind Sivir in terms of gold because of the overall map objectives they were able to take. Overall, though, I think that was an excellent game to watch. Could have been played a little bit differently, but especially sort of that early game play from, just the power of Warwick and Alistar really got kind of a good, really secured that early game, mid-game sort of presence. But I think really what lost the game for that blue team was that Baron that just didn't go their way. It was a 3-for-0 or something, followed by a Baron for purple team. And that's where the game really just started to slip away from them. From that point on, purple they had the safety of Sivir, Janna, and Karma to kind of push down turrets. And anytime blue team got an advantage, Sivir is a great turret pusher. Vayne, not so much. He doesn't really have any abilities that will increase her damage to
she has the AoE.
Yeah.
But the one thing I just want to point out, though, like in the last fight, actually, no, it's not worth mentioning, but I honestly thought blue team was going to win based upon like their early game. But then somehow like purple team were like, you know what, guys, we got to like team fight. We got to focus. We got to do everything right. And they did that. While blue team were, as if they're coming off of their high from
Hmm.
early game. Like they had like an air of cockiness that they like had like it's. I don't want to use the term swag, but then they had swag.
Yeah,
But
they
then
did.
it wasn't warranted though. Like
Yeah.
they're too confident, and then
Yeah.
they
And
paid the price.
I mean that's sort of something you find out if you're playing maybe LeBlanc, a Lanewick. You know there are a number of champs in this game who are just 1v1 like single target damage gods, and then they maybe don't transition so well into a team fight. And I think that's definitely the case for Caffeine, who really could pretty much 1v1 and just really take down anyone in the game with that DFG. But when it came time to team fight, I think he got a little bit impatient. He would go for these ballsy kind of initiates onto the enemy AD carry and then just get bursted down. Shriven and Karma and Jana, I mean, just all doing an excellent job healing for Sivir, who was always like the last one to die, in these team fights. Um, and then by the time that they finally killed Sivir, they still had to deal with Singed, Riven, and Karma. It's like these three big damage threats. So very well played from Purple Team to kind of work as more of a cohesive team. Um, so I think I did just get an invite to another game. I might. Are you down to cast another? I think I'm down to cast another.
It's already 3 a.m. here. I
Oh,
have class 8 o'clock, and I have an eight
oh
o'clock
wow.
class.
Okay.
But
Well,
I am down to cast another one.
are you serious? Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Wow, that is commitment to the league. All right. Well, I'm gonna slap on the official GGWP title that ends every video, and I'm gonna end.